Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel and you will join me in the vehicle assembly building. I was in many missions and in this mission, you can hear the music playing in the background sped up. We are recreating NASA's, in this video, NASA's SLS rocket and the Artemis 1 rocket, mission, which was launched a couple months ago in October last year and stayed for a couple weeks around the moon, and it's NASA's gateway basically to the moon, and at least they believe later onto Mars. I really like its design. It has these solar panels here, not those ones, but yeah, these. And the SLS rocket itself is cool. I mean, it's the most powerful rocket to ever reach orbit, though, when it launched. Yeah, sure, there are some rockets like the the detonated SpaceX Starship, which is more powerful by a significant margin, but it was not able to reach orbit, as all the media headlines probably told you, so that doesn't count. And the Saturn V is the second most powerful, having reached orbit on, well, the Apollo missions and Skylab. So right now you see me building this. Spoiler alert, I would forget to add parachutes to this when I'm actually doing a live commentary of me playing it, which I filmed before this, because of course I did. I had to fix the stage in there for a second, and the launch escape tower now. And the SLS rocket, it's part of an interesting program NASA had in the early 2000s. From 2005 to 2010, NASA had the Constellation program, which was, well, basically they started working on it after the space shuttle Columbia exploded, and lots of people were mad at NASA for continuing the space shuttle after 2 failures, so they had this radical new thing which they promised to the public, the Constellation program. This was where they'd finished the ISS first of all using cargo supply rockets, then they'd basically, after that, they'd land humans back on the moon again using this rocket, and then after that they continue on to Mars. And unfortunately it failed, and it was way over budget, so in 2010 President Barack Obama cancelled it. And also it only had one launch, and it wasn't even successful. It was the Ares 1 vehicle, which was supposed to launch the Orion capsule to orbit. It was a pretty tall rocket, but all it was just like the Orion capsule, bit of a fairing and a second stage, and just a space shuttle booster basically, and that's it. But yeah, there was, well, what was going to be the biggest rocket and going to be taller than even the SpaceX Starship, and that was the SS Block 5, which would have taken helped take cargo missions to low Earth orbit, to go to the Mars and the Moon, and also to deliver massive payloads to the ISS. And yeah, these all would have used this rocket, the SLS, but NASA kept the SLS rocket itself's design, because they were so far into development, and after decades, well, over a decade, I'm not really doing much with it, they finally got the launch, and next year I believe the Artemis 2 mission will happen, which will fly around the moon with crew instead of this one, which is completely unmanned. Then the Artemis 3 mission will have, which I talk about in the actual commentary, will be using SpaceX's moon lander, and this thing supplies the crew and goes into low lunar orbit. And that's the Artemis 3 mission. Right, everyone, so let's get ready for launch. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it's a very high thrust to weight ratio of 1.7. So I'm just going to throttle down the main engines a bit, just to help conserve some of their fuel, because right now the SRBs are doing like a third of the lifting power. Well, not a third, like over half, I'd say, actually, right now. It's just better to say power doing this. Well, not power, but technically fuel. But Yeah, this mission launched in October and returned in December back onto Earth. It took some incredible pictures, like one of the dark sides of the moon, which I found really cool. It's like one of the highest resolution photos ever, basically, of the dark side of the moon. And I mean, it's how barren it is on the dark side of patches of mare or seas. But anyway, this thing had a really complex orbit that was the most fuel-efficient orbit and trajectory it could take. Prime Space is a really good video explaining it in way more detail, because it basically, instead of something like stage separation, just wait for the boosters to run out, then we'll cut throttle. There we go. And let's deploy launch escape system. There you go. So yeah, basically, the Artemis one basically. So unlike the Apollo capsule on, for example, Apollo 8, where it just launched directly to the moon, then orbited for a bit, then went back to Earth. This instead, let's just time warp up. This basically had several orbits around the moon, and if you technically analyze its orbit, it basically just appeared like it was just orbiting the Earth, truly, but just with the moon as the nearest object to it, and the object exerting its gravitational pull, the strongest relative to it. But anyway, we're doing a orbital burn, and it did gain lots of new insight from NASA about the moon, and they are planning that Starship moon lander I built. I'll make a video where I use that and the Orion capsule, because the Orion capsule will take the crew up, and then the Starship. There we go. We are in orbit. Now we have loads of fuel left over, but I'm still not going to use it because I want to be as accurate as possible. So let's separate that. Without separate as well, I wonder. Sorry, deploy. Oh, whatever. Okay, good. We can use the RCS then, and deploy solar panels so we can keep our electric charge high. Yeah, there you go. It does look quite cool, the Orion capsule. But the reason why they did this really fuel efficient version on the Artemis 1 mission trajectory was basically because if they didn't, well, the service module's smaller, so it has less fuel. So if they didn't, they wouldn't be able to basically have the mission run as long in that sense. But also it had an advantage over the Apollo capsule, which is the main capsule competing, because, you know, it's NASA's other capsule that went to the moon. And that's the Apollo capsule itself is smaller, which means its life support doesn't last as long. But the advantage it did have was that it basically a larger service module, as I talked about, so it could do longer burns and had the less efficient but just shorter direct encounter with the moon. But we're just going to perform this burn here. I might try in a later mission to try and simulate the actual Artemis burn, but it's really, really complex, as I've already stated, so, you know. Can't do everything, especially in a game like Kerbal Space Program. Anyway, go. Burning out Wolfhound engine. Quite good thrust to weight ratio. And let's unbuckle. And experience the feeling of, well, G-force, because they do actually experience G-force, astronauts do. Why is gravity on? It's just due to the fact that they're just following a straight line. Yeah, I wouldn't want to go EVA right now, even though it's curved by space-time, and basically they're falling, astronauts are, but they're moving sideways fast enough that the Earth curves away from them. And when you're falling, you don't experience any G-force, basically, unless there's resistance to it. Which there isn't in space because there's no atmosphere. And so, just about to finish our burn. Just physics warp a bit and lower our throttle so we can get it as accurate as possible. There we go. 20k, okay, that's fine. And we wait for about 5 hours, even though in real life it's more like 3 days. Well, at least for the Apollo missions, as I stated. And we'll just warp you over. And we've entered the Monsphere of Influence. You can see by the fact that my game might have actually crashed there. Thank God it didn't. Yeah, sometimes KSP is a bit buggy, especially with all these mods. And the fact that the game's engine isn't the best. And the fact that I have Parallax 2 installed, which you've seen in my other videos. It makes the game look a lot better on surface detail. But it also makes your computer not feel very good. So, it's a mix of both worlds. And just wait a bit. Yeah, now. This burn isn't going to be too long because the thing is, the moon's orbital velocity is not that high compared to the Kerbin's because it's the Mun, it's smaller. Well, I'm just going to warp up to Apoaps and raise up Periaps a bit more. Yeah, this is going to be a quite quick mission because that's all Artemis 1 was. I also should have put a probe core on so I could have made it unmanned because the real Artemis 1 mission didn't carry any humans. But let's separate that. Orbit around for a bit. Yeah. Well, that would be cool if we could get a view of the dark side of the Mun, because just like in real life, the Mun is tidally locked to Kerbin, so you only see one side of it. I'm just going to quick save just in case. And so, let's wait until one side is illuminated, and the side that is the dark side. And let's just do a burn to get our Apoaps as high so we can get a nice good view at it. Ask us to turn around. Go forwards. Go big or go home, as they sometimes say in America a lot. So, let's just do it now. Oh yeah, I haven't activated the engine, of course. For a second I thought about landing on the Mun, but then I forgot this is not a lander. Obviously. Where's the landing legs? Yeah, this thing's thrust to weight ratio isn't too considerably good. It's good enough though. And look at that. Let's just change our field of view here for a second. Yeah, you don't want to get your field of view messed up too much, or else it will kind of suck. So now we're going to maximize the O-berth effect, where you're taking advantage of your current velocity, so basically you don't need to use as much fuel. Use as little fuel as possible when attempting. Let's try and get a direct one. When attempting to perform a burn, because at your lowest point of your orbit you will be moving the fastest. pull that a bit. Yeah, 30,000. I'll be able to more easily fine tune it anyway. Right, gonna perform the burn very soon. Oh, don't overshoot it, I almost did. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, pretty quick. Still gonna have lots of fuel left over, but we're just gonna discard this. Yeah, the frame rate stutters sometimes, just ignore that. Yeah, periapsis, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30. 29, okay, I'll take it. Let's just escape. And turn retrograde quickly. Oh, we're re-entering on the dark side. Yeah, I time warped. I was a bit too time warp happy there. Don't be too time warp happy, kids, whenever you're playing Kerbal Space Program. Let's raise the Apple apps a bit. And begin spinning, because why not? Of course not now. And attach. Oh, retrograde. Oh, you almost just burnt that. Jeez. It's illuminating. So you can see the service module there. And the solar panels are blowing up and we're in its plasma trail. And it's gone. I also should have taken out more ablator to increase the thrust to weight ratio. But, you know, everyone makes mistakes. Including right now, because I forgot to put a parachute on this. But, you see, that was part of the plan, because Kerbals had their own parachutes. I think pilots do. We're moving very fast. And it doesn't seem... and sinking very quickly as well, so I'm just going to quick say this, we don't, just in case we crash into the ground, because at this rate I'm not entirely sure if we won't. Oh yeah, we're completely fine. I'm just going to wait until we drift. Guess I can change that. Just jettison the heat shield. And now, below. No, let me click that. I don't know why I want to lower their visor, but whatever. Save the game, and this is gonna take forever. Let's try and pick up as much speed as possible. I'm going to cut all this out because this is incredibly boring. Just watch. 60 meters. Okay, we just need to slowly descend so we don't die. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Okay, we're about to land. There we go. Repack the chute. Because why not? Of course, turn you guys around. Oh, turn on your lights for added visibility. It's always a perk. Is the game about to crash because I saved it? Oh, thank God. Oh, we're about to land Valentine. No Kerman. Turn around. Not bad, 600 meters. Repack chute. That was a pretty fast impact. But you know, Pearson Kerbals recovered. So yeah guys, thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed, please consider subscribing to this channel and drop a like down below. If you've enjoyed, of course, as I said, drop a like down below, but if you hated it, consider giving it a dislike, and I'd love to hear your opinion on this rocket in the comments, and if you think it will actually succeed in its goals. But anyway everyone, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, and as always, good night.